Good evening, everybody. John here at Havoc Maker Studio, and we're going to cover part two of my speculation videos for the Ministravaganza coming from Atomic Mass Games in just less than 29 days, coming up June 9th, 10th, and 11th. So my previous video talked about, we covered the Sentinels, we covered Thunderbolts, Sinister Six, and the Winter Guard, and why the Winter Guard are probably not appearing right now. So today, or now, this video, we're going to go ahead and cover the rest of what I think we're going to see for this upcoming cycle. Please put down in the comments below what you think, if I'm already on the money, or do you think it's going to be something else? Obviously, it could really be anything. We have thousands of characters that could be revealed, but who knows what it's going to be. Now, for those of you that are Star Wars fans, I am now involving myself in several different forums and rumor pages that cover Star Wars Legion and X-Wing and Armada. So I can kind of get spun up on it and do a speculation video for the Ministravaganza for the Star Wars IPs. I don't want to just cover only Marvel, since that Ministravaganza is going to be covering all their product that Atomic Mass Games covers. So let's just get right into this video. Let's take a look at my first picks for this part two of this video. We're going to look at the rest of the X-Men, and yes, there are so many different X-Men out there. I get it, I can't cover them all. Well, I can, but it would be lengthy videos, and it'd be kind of pointless to do that. But what I can do is cover the top contenders, the likely candidates that we will see coming up in this Ministravaganza. So first up, going right to left, top to bottom. Yeah, that sounds like a good order. We have Iceman, one of the original of the first class. Well, they're the first class as far as most people know, but it's been retconned that they're the second class. But we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to call them the first class. Anyways, Bobby Drake, or Robert Drake, Iceman. He's an Omega level mutant. He's probably going to be very potent on the tabletop. I could see us getting a medium size, or not a medium size. I could see us getting a large size model, not from him being large, but him still being a size 2, but him being on a 55mm base. There, got that out. Getting his normal, or his iconic ice slide ability, where he can generate that ice and slide around. That he gets some pretty good long movement. They'll probably count it as wall crawling. So we might see him. Then Archangel, or Angel, depending on how you look at it, Warren Worthington III. I think we could see a dual miniature here. The reason why I say that is because, at least presently right now in the comics, Angel, he's a member of X-Corps, and they're a corporation on the mutant island, and we've seen him shift back and forth as of about 3 or 4 months ago, actually, shift back and forth between his original winged form and this form that you're seeing here. That was the result of Apocalypse putting them back together, giving him his wings and making him his Horseman of Death. So I think we could see a double base, kind of like we see with the Hood, we saw with Wasp and Ant-Man. So I think a double miniature, and package them, say, with Iceman, call it a day. Be probably like a $49 box. Cool. Then we have Professor X, which a lot of people, I think, are expecting him. I'm going to put him up there because we all have other characters like Shadowcat, I think would be a little bit more prevalent, but a lot of people are really focused on the 90s X-Men. They really want their 90s X-Men for nostalgia, I think, more than anything else. But Professor X doesn't strike me as a tabletop miniature, a character that we're going to see during the skirmish games. Yes, we've seen him fight in the comics and in the movies, of course. I'm not discounting that. But he is more of a sit back and provide tactical or strategic support, or use his mighty telepathy to well, support the rest of the team. I don't really see him as a frontline character. So he might not make it this time around, but it's definitely possible, of course. And then, of course, a big fan favorite, really from the night. I think it's mainly people like Jubilee because they have that nostalgic, reminiscent feeling of their childhood with the '90s X-Men, or the '90s cartoon X-Men, and they want to see Jubilee running around. Now, I have no problem with Jubilee. I think she's a great character. I think her whole vampire storyline, when she was infected, was really cool. She has gone from being an annoying character with a very, in my personal opinion, my personal taste, a crappy costume, but it was '90s. But it was really just those jean shorts. And I think that's what a lot of people are hoping the character will have. I'm hoping not, but I think you guys are going to get what you want. I'm not a big fan of that costume. I'm going to hope that another 3D sculpting group will make an alternate version based on a more updated costume. But you know what? I'm not saying you guys are wrong with liking your costume. It just doesn't tickle my fancy, so to speak. But I think we could definitely see her coming up. She might be able to provide a lot of long-range fire support. She'd probably be lower on the threat level because she's not big and beefy. She's a bit fragile, but depending on what they do with her. So I think you guys are right. She will be showing up. She's definitely one of the top candidates. Now, if they're going to do this, we also know that they'll probably do some X-Men villains. But also, yearly, we get a cosmic threat. So I think our cosmic threat for 2022 is going to be Apocalypse if we go focus on the X-Men route. Apocalypse being not only a global threat, but a galactic threat as well. He has, besides his massive mutant abilities, his eternal lifespan, he also has access to celestial technology. Hell, the armor that he wears is celestial, from celestial manufacture. He ran around on a celestial ship for a long period of time before X Factor, which were the original X-Men, but they became X Factor. Way back in the day, they took over the ship once they defeated Apocalypse. So he could definitely be this year's cosmic threat. And he would have Angel or Archangel, if it's a dual kit, available to him as his Horseman of Death. And we know that other X-Men that are currently in the game right now have served as members of his Horsemen at one point of time, one point or another. They could be a part of his affiliation, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And you could put in at least Gambit, Wolverine. I want to say, I believe Sabretooth was. Well, you know what? Actually, I think it was just Gambit and Wolverine so far that we've seen on the tabletop. And then, of course, Angel. But there's 4 characters, including Apocalypse, to round out that affiliation. And they could always put in some more, because we know that he's had non-mutants on there before. So moving on, the next one I think we are most likely to see. This is our biggest, most likely candidate for this cycle, or for this year, for the next rounding out Q2, but really going in, we're looking at Q3 and Q4, and maybe hints of Q1 of 2023. Depending on shipping issues and whatnot. We already talked about the Winter Guard and the Ukraine-Russian war and bad optics and why they'll probably be pushed back. So Fantastic Four are one of Marvel's most iconic teams. They are Marvel's first family, first superhero family, literally. And I think that we might see them very, very likely, especially now that we've seen certain things pop up in the MCU, and we know that the MCU has Fantastic Four slated for either 2023 or 2024. I already forget the date, but these 4 would be top contenders. We would see say Reed Richards and we'll just put in Reed Richards and Johnny Storm, oh gosh, why can't I think of his character's name? Holy crap. Human Torch. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. Put them in a box where Reed Richards is on a 55 millimeter base, being all super stretchy, and give him some sort of gadgets on there. And then we have the Human Torch on a 35 millimeter base, the standard base, having them flying and lots of fire, really awesome looking stuff. And then the other box would be Sue Storm on a standard base. Would be really cool if they had kind of a clear, half clear, half visible version of her, but I don't see that happening. But we might see some shields popping up, kind of like how we saw with Cable and his telekinetic barrier. And then, of course, we put the Thing on a 55 millimeter base, maybe have him holding up a rock or starting to throw stuff or stomping down on something. A lot of destruction around him. So that would be the two different boxes, or this be our first of the squad packs of new models where we already have the Black Order coming up with the first affiliation box, or as Asmodee calls it, the squad box. So this could be our first squad box, guys. I don't know how this is going to pan out. And of course, once this drops, we also have 5 other characters already available right now that would round out this affiliation. We have the She-Hulk, who replaced the Thing shortly after the first Secret Wars, and Thing stayed on Battleworld. She-Hulk stepped up, filled that role for, I want to say 1 to 2 years, and then Thing eventually came back. We also have, at least in 2 comic runs, very short series for basically a limited arc, we had a different Fantastic Four team consisting of Spider-Man, the Gray Hulk, so we can just use the regular Hulk, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider filling in as the Fantastic Four. So you add them onto that roster, and now you have a 9-person roster for the Fantastic Four. Automatically, we got a great roster filled out for that affiliation. And of course, if you're going to be having this amazing affiliation, this amazing group, you're going to have to put in their biggest, baddest villain, and who would also be a cosmic threat, Dr. Doom. Now, Dr. Doom is, among other things, a super genius. He rivals Reed Richards and Tony Stark. In fact, some of his tech is well beyond what Tony Stark does. He is also a candidate, though he's often ignored, for Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. That's right. This guy is deep dived into magic, and so he combines technology and magic. And plus, he's the ruler of a nation, so he's got lots of resources to back him up. He's been in possession of the Cosmic Cube. He's been called Emperor Doom. He's conquered the universe at one point in time. I think he was God Doom at one point, because he basically had the power of a god. And he would be a great cosmic threat. You give him also a grunt base of Doom bots, give him a cosmic encounter box, and then be able to include for his minions the Doom bots. There's a lot of cool things that could go on with this release. So I think Fantastic Four and Dr. Doom are the most likely we're going to see before anybody else that I've mentioned over the past 2 videos. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think we're going to be hitting Fantastic Four and Dr. Doom or these other X-Men and Apocalypse? What are your speculations or wish listing? And I know that I've missed a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams, a lot of characters out there, and it's just impossible to cover them all. I'm just going with the most likely candidates over these past 2 videos that we're going to see for the Ministravaganza. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll chat with you guys later. Have a good day.